You're on.
Everybody else?
They're right. They're pretty.
RCTV Studios is there and that's.
Oh, all right. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming in today. Thanks, Kate, for doing the minutes from the last meeting. Appreciate that. And before we begin, who wants to do the minutes for this meeting?
I'll take the next one.
Okay, you get the next one. All right. Thank you. Stepping up there. So we have two sets of minute meetings we get to look at and review and approve. So if we can just take.
Roll call. Beginning of the meeting.
Oh, to do that.
Is there anyone on Zoom?
Nobody on Zoom.
If there isn't, then you don't have
Not
to.
do a roll call.
All right.
At the Council on Aging, we're like, yes.
We have the August one and the June, sorry.
So we have June and August to approve.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve, we'll do one at a time, to approve the June minutes.
second. Any discussion? Have a vote on that? With you?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
unanimous.
How many we got today, just for my notes? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0.
It's the first one.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th.
Second.
Any discussion? No, look at you all the time. You're in a good spot. Wait, well,
Sorry, go ahead.
Was there discussion?
I was gonna say there's a typo.
oh,
John Frederico's name, it's missing an,
H.
I thought I was missing an E.
I think it's in the John part too, J-O-H.
Okay, so we spelled it Jon on the June one, so it's missing an H on the June one too. And E in the
Somebody
second.
go in and get his name right. Please.
He's just not here.
all set? All right, we go in?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes, 7-0 again. All right. Thank you. So the woman didn't show for public comment,
No,
right?
I thought we were gonna have someone for public comment. It is 6:33 right now, so. We can go on, and if
Okay.
someone does come in and you wanna throw it back on the agenda, you can certainly do that.
Sure. All right, we have one amplified permit and Jim will read it for us.
Well, I think I'm gonna have your co-chair
Oh.
actually read it and make him do a little
Oh,
work.
excellent, excellent.
Ho, ho, ho.
Put him on the spot.
All right, so this is the amplified use permit for Alex's Big Benefit Music Show. This is gonna be on Sunday, October 12th, 2025, from 1 PM to 4 PM at Memorial Park. And they're looking to use sound equipment, speakers, mixers, microphones, musical instruments, general announcements, and music. Seems to be the gist of it.
Yeah, it's done this, I think, for the past several years.
Mhm.
No complaints previously?
Good. Any discussion? Yeah, any discussion? Make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
All right, 7-0, the amplified sound has been approved.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
You can handle it, Bob.
No,
Making you read.
Yeah.
50-50.
All right, next, we got a special guest. Welcome back. Haven't seen Jenna in a while. So Jenna, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you for an update on the Reading Center for Active Living.
All right. Well, thanks for having me tonight. Also with me, I have John Sasso and Emily Sisson. And they have been involved also in helping and volunteering with the operations plan. John has been instrumental with the recal committee and has a really good insight into all the other centers that we've visited, and was a big part of the presentation to the select board. And Emily also has a lot of knowledge in the rec side
That's right.
And financial.
And fine.
and now and the finance committee. So we thought that they would be great help with this operations plan. And John actually approached us in the spring to help right after town meeting. And then we brought Emily in. So they've been helping us for the past few months. So we thought that we would start coming into the Council on Aging and into the Recreation Committee to tell you where we're at with the operations plan, and then come on a monthly basis to ask your feedback on where we're at. So we'll quickly go through. This is just a little intro until we get into the real fun details next month. But next slide. Thanks. So really quickly, these are the things that we're going to go over today: responsibilities and stakeholders, the mission and vision statements, and the guiding principles of RECAL, the operational footprint of RECAL. There's something for everyone in RECAL. We're going to be serving youth. We're going to be serving 60+. We are going to be having therapeutic recreation programs. So it'll be very diverse, and there will definitely be something for everyone. The operational plan outline draft, John will get into, and then just a quick timeline and the next steps. So responsibilities and stakeholders, Matt and Jane are at the head of the table, but in the day-to-day thick of it, it's myself, the community services director, Jim Sullivan, the recreation administrator, Chris Kowaleski, the Elder and Human Services Administrator, and Will Valier, our Veteran Services Officer. And then obviously we've been bringing in the rest of our team, meeting on a monthly basis to go over all of these things. Ed's been very involved in the back, and also members of our other staff. And then I'm going to turn it over quickly to Jim.
My turn. All right, so I'm basically going to read what you guys are going to be reading as well. The Reading Center for Active Living, also known as RECAL, will be a community asset designed to support the mission statements of Elder and Human Services, Recreation, and Veterans Divisions. RECAL seeks to foster health and wellness by promoting social interaction, strengthening the community, and providing a point of access to programs and services for all ages. RECAL mission statement: Town of Reading created multiple guiding principles for the Center for Active Living in order to provide an inclusive, welcoming, and supportive space that meets the interests and needs of the growing 60+ population. The Reading Center for Active Living embraces a dynamic approach promoting growth and healthy aging by enhancing the social, cognitive, and physical lives of our senior population. RECAL will also provide additional indoor recreational space for all age groups. RECAL guiding principles. RECAL will be age-friendly and welcoming to everyone. The design will include a senior hub with designated spaces to support the full range of programs and services to meet the growing needs of Reading's age 60+ residents, offering full-day, weekend, and evening hours. RECAL will include designated space for recreation and veterans offices and shared spaces to provide recreational and/or community building opportunities for all ages. Center will ensure safety and accessibility both inside and outside the facility through thoughtful design and operation. The center will promote social equality and maximize access to programs and services to all members of the community. The facility will be environmentally conscious, strive to be carbon neutral, and will leave a legacy of responsible design and operation. Next, we go to.
So as you heard in the mission and vision statements, this is really a facility that's going to be geared toward our seniors, that 60+ population. And so really wanted to focus on what are the things that are going to be, for that population in particular. So there'll be space. Obviously, we have a senior hub planned. There will be a lounge with TV, a game area, a cafe area. They'll have access to a fitness room. There's an outdoor patio that will be exclusively for our 60+ seniors on the first floor. And then the other spaces that are kind of communal, their programs will take precedence when we get to that'll be November's conversation, how we're gonna figure out programming, but so there'll be opportunities for them to participate in social and recreational activities. A lot of the same kind of stuff that's going on at the Pleasant Street Center will move over to ReCal, but it will have expanded space and capabilities in this new facility. There'll be exercise classes, the wellness screenings that they've come to rely on already. There'll be mental health support services, support groups, tax prep, the senior luncheon, a lot of opportunities for our seniors to engage with each other, but also people of other ages on the next slide. Maybe, there we go. So in addition to kind of that dedicated space for the seniors, this facility is going to feature an indoor track, that fitness room, that will be 18 plus, I think we decided, no kids allowed in that one. There'll be space, for this group of interest, therapeutic recreation programs. There'll be open gym times. There'll be opportunities for rec programs to take place in this new facility. In addition to that, there's opportunity to rent it for community events or for, private functions. And, knock on wood, it could serve as an emergency shelter in case of some sort of disaster, and a voting location eventually if needed, which I'm excited about. Those of you who know me know I like to hang out at the polls. And gave it to John with the meat of the presentation.
So when we first looked at this a number of years ago, I think we were wide-eyed about what we potentially could have. And I think as this became more real, not just myself, but others looked at, well, what are all the things that this is going to encompass and how are we going to manage it? And so was a recommendation made that we try to put together a plan of all of the aspects that could be, impacted by the use of the center. So I do want to make it clear that we're really talking about what the operation of ReCal would be as a center post-production. So meaning we're not talking about any of the stuff that's going on right now with regards to the Permanent Building Committee and their activities on design. That is not this activity. This activity is focused on what will the center look like and how will it get managed and run and what will the policies and procedures be that govern it when we get there. And as you can see, this is actually, it's a pretty comprehensive list, but even in our conversations, we've identified a few other things that we need to address. And we've been working through those already. So as Jenna mentioned, we'll be coming back to present some of the detailed programs and, detailed policies and procedures, share some of our thoughts on what the purpose of the procedure is, who owns it, how does it get updated, those sort of things we'll work through, and then ask you guys for feedback on, hey, is there something we missed? Is there something that would be more helpful to slant it in one way or the other to help address whether it be a specific recreation need or something that we as a community may have missed. Next slide. So before I jump into this slide, I want to make one thing crystal clear. Whatever we end up with to start will change. So I just want to make it clear that we've gone into this kind of with our eyes open that, okay, we're going to put a lot of effort into coming up with and establishing policies and procedures. And many of them are going to be based on things that exist today. So we're trying not to recreate the wheel. Many of them are things that other centers have done that we know work. And so we're trying to adapt them for the use here in Reading. But we do have a few specific things that we have to keep in mind. As I said, number one, things will change. But we did commit to the community that the priorities for 60 plus would be the top priority for ReCal. So we want to keep that in mind. But we know there are going to be competing needs, and we're going to have to figure out how to mitigate those needs. I don't have the answers to those questions, but we've actually one of the areas that we're going to focus on heavily is how to reconcile programmatic opportunities in terms of what gets done at the center in which areas and when, and how does that get allocated and defined and prioritized. So that's definitely going to be I think one of the key outputs from our process will be, what does that look like? And then obviously through the processes, we want to keep people informed. And so we want to have a presentation to come to the different groups over the next few months and get your input. And as I said, things are going to change. And we also aren't sure what the future is going to hold. What other things could we potentially do in the center? Not just expansion of staff, but programs and other opportunities. So I think those are things that we're going to consider in our policies and procedures and try to make them encompassing enough. But as I said, they'll have to be written in a way that they can withstand some change.
And back to me. So this is just a quick timeline. Again, we don't know if this is going to be the exact timeline, but this is what we're shooting for. In October, we would love to come back with some draft policies and procedures and forms that we're going to have at ReCal. We actually met today internally on some of those forms. We're thinking it'll probably be the fitness equipment room, the program membership at ReCal, having a family membership and an individual membership at ReCal, and outlining all of the general policies on that form and having folks sign off on it. Everyone gets a key tag, things like that. What else? The fitness equipment room, the rental policy,
Indoor track.
the indoor track. So those will be the 4 things that we're hoping to focus on. Certainly there's a lot more than that. You could see on that list that there was like a list of 15 things, but we thought that those were the most important. And all the subset groups like the therapeutic rec and the property tax worker program and things like that. If you look at the list and you think that you can help us on those programs, definitely reach out to us like on the side, because I know we have some qualified folks in the room that could help in various ways. Jim and the rest of the team has met with Burlington and Lexington on therapeutic rec. We've taken their forms. We've transferred them into Reading rec specific things to kind of get the ball rolling. So we have those sample forms. So it'd be great to kind of share those with people and get their opinions offline. And, Jim and Ed can work on scheduling those meetings. And then in November, we hope to come with a more comprehensive plan with the programming policy and the strategy for scheduling. It's something that we've talked about a lot internally as a team, but we'd love to bring that to each of the committees and get your feedback on that. In December, a lot of times committees don't meet, so we're hoping that if you do meet, we can just have an open discussion on anything that's still lingering from October, November. In the new year, we hope to come with projected operational costs for staff and utilities, as well as our projected revenues. We are working with an operations consultant, and we do have some preliminary numbers that, again, we have to go through more as a team, because that doesn't just involve community services, that also involves IT and facilities and various other departments. And in February, we hope to come forward with our current transportation model and future needs. We did apply for a grant in the spring to explore a transportation pilot program, but we did not get it. But again, we know more people will want to come to the center. They may need transportation. Do we look into more grants, perhaps getting a shuttle system that would be available to the whole town? So just a lot of different things on the horizon there that we can explore. So we hope to have more information over the next 4 months about that. And then we would love to bring this more to the public and have a public presentation, community presentation with anyone who would like to come and give their feedback on where we're at so far. And in April, we would review the presentation to the public as Recreation and Council on Aging, and then bring it to the community presentation and the select board in April. Sorry about that. So any questions on the tight timeline?
It's aggressive.
Are there, is there any additional plans on addressing town meeting with just with updates, or are we just? Or no?
I mean, I think that might be a good thing to do. So when we have the community presentation and the select board presentation in April, maybe right after that, it's town meeting. So we can share that with everyone at town meeting. I think it might be a little soon for the next town meeting, but I'm open to it if we can come up with some type of brief narrative to
Yeah.
share.
And I don't even think necessarily you have to present to town meeting at town meeting,
Mhm.
but you know, we have the distribution, there's a distribution list. It wouldn't be a bad idea that if there was a presentation or if there were, to share to town meeting members that the public meetings are happening.
Yeah,
And as a town meeting member, here's an opportunity for you to follow up on what you voted on previously. I
good
think,
idea.
I just think it goes a long way to connect back so that the town meeting members, they can then advocate.
No, we're
and
doing something.
Know what's happening, because eventually people get asked, you know, hey, does
Yeah.
anybody know what's going on with ReCal?
Mhm.
And, you know, then you have 192, well, however many people actually pay attention, people who actually maybe have that information who can also answer questions. So you're just giving information to people who have already voted on it and care about it.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great idea.
And it was just mentioned that permanent building committee is kind of separate. Is there any dual track with them or communications? I'm sure there is, but
Yeah.
like who's waiting for who? When's the first sort of, or are we just in the initial planning stage? I know I missed a couple meetings. I'm just asking the question.
So you're asking for a PBC update or more like how they're getting informed about the operations plan?
Yes.
So monthly, Jane and I are reporting on the progress of the operations plan to the permanent building committee.
Okay.
So,
Who's waiting for who? Or are they moving forward or?
oh yeah, they keep going.
Okay.
They keep going with their design. Right now they are tied up in the permitting phase with CPDC.
Yep.
But they are moving forward. They got cost estimates and, yeah, moving along quite well. They're going into the pre-qualification stage. So trucking along and they don't have to wait for us, which is good.
Yeah.
And what's the timeline in terms of like the shovels in the ground? You know, what are you thinking?
They're hoping to get bids out in the new year, in the early new year.
Okay,
And then I'm not sure about the breaking ground, but the completion date is estimated for fall of 2027.
20. Oh, wow.
So I assume if we get the bids back in the winter, maybe spring,
Okay,
once the snow melts,
yeah.
all goes well.
Mhm.
And then I went over this before about the different policies and forms that we'll bring to you in the next meeting. And we'll try to get those to you in advance, maybe even a couple weeks before, depending on when you guys meet, so you have time to kind of go over it and digest it before we come to the next meeting.
It's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have there been any, speaking of the PVC, have there been any substantive changes to the plan, or is it still essentially what was approved?
Yeah, there was maybe one slight change to the side of the building because CPDC had some issues with the setback on the street.
Okay.
But it actually benefited us because now we have a larger kitchen. So it worked out well and it didn't impact the cost of the building. There was another update where we moved the fitness equipment room up to the second floor so we could have that senior hub on the first floor, which is that left lower corner of the building. So they felt like they had their own spot because, as we all know, the fitness equipment room is open to the whole community. So there was that slight change, but again, not a huge impact on the budget at all, and it could be done. So I think those are the two changes that I can think of, but
Okay, great.
yes. Do you remember anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, and we've been having internal meetings a lot about the audio visual in the building, security in the building, the police, the fire, they're all engaged with the architects as well. So there's internal meetings flying around about all these different things. So it's moving along nice and the communication's really great.
What's the estimate on what the cost of the additional staff would be?
So we did have a preliminary budget that we gave out around town meeting, but we'll be presenting that in the new fiscal year. the good thing is that the only thing that will be, there'll be budgeted positions, but a lot of those positions can be offset by the revolving funds, either by Elder and Human Services or the Recreation Revolving Fund. So the money that we're bringing in for programs and rentals, we can pay for extra front desk staff. We can pay for therapeutic recreation programs, but the only one that's probably going to go on the actual org chart as like a permanent part-time position, I would say, would be the therapeutic recreation specialist. And then all the front desk people will be part-time. So, and there's 2 custodians, but those get budgeted through facilities, and those were also presented, I think, at town meeting. But in the new year, you'll have a better idea of the costs.
And whatever,
When we present it.
and whatever offsets that you guys come up with in
Yep.
terms of revenue generation.
Yep, and we already have all those preliminary numbers. We just have to work through them again this fall with all the different departments and make sure that everyone's on the same page. Because we worked with our operations consultant and it's like, oh, well, it's X amount for the gym rental, but we could always change it.
Yeah.
And say, oh, we think it should be a little less, or we think it should be a little more. And it's like, oh, look, this person's gonna get X amount of money at the front desk, but maybe it should be a little bit more, maybe it should be a little less. So there's ways you can kind of manipulate the numbers and look at where you can cut costs. But I think it's very, very manageable what we're presenting based on the revenue that we're gonna be generating in the building.
Any other questions?
They're tough.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming in
Yeah, thank
for
you.
that. Nice presentation.
We'll see
Appreciate it.
one of you
Yeah.
every month,
Yeah,
Yep,
somebody every.
yeah, you'll probably see all of us every month
Yeah.
on Zoom or here, yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Thank
Works.
you.
Happy to have you.
yeah,
Welcome back.
Yeah.
For old times'
Yeah, we're
sake.
gonna stay. Well, I'm gonna stay.
yeah.
Thanks. I'm gonna have to run. You guys are doing
Yeah.
this great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we're in this end.
So next item, actually is for me. Thank you, John. The last meeting was about the master plan for the town. And the question came up, can an associate member be on the committee? And the answer is yes. So I reached out to the select board. They says no problem. So at this time, we don't need to nominate anybody because they're still trying to form it, put the plan together. So they're not looking for us to come with somebody from this committee. So when that comes, we'll let you guys know. We'll select a person or persons to be on that committee. That. Next one, you want to take the next one or? is it-
Yeah, I know Eric, I think had asked to put this on. It might be easy for Eric to kind of.
Yeah, I can walk through it. So most of you know, I've been on the CPA committee for the past almost, I guess it's been a year or so.
Yeah,
The meetings just happened to coincide and I've had a lot of conflicts, so I have not been able to make some of the meetings. I've made most of them or been able to zoom in. I strongly prefer to be in person. But I just want to make sure that somebody from a recreation committee who is present at those meetings if possible. So I'm kind of formally asking Recreation Committee to essentially replace me on the CPA committee. I can certainly give where we are, we're actually in a very good spot. They have a plan to move forward with getting it onto in front of town meeting for a vote. And then to be on the 2026 annual election that will happen in November. So kind of like the midterms, right? The midterm elections, so that we can maximize the number of people who are actually turning out to be able to vote on it. They have settled on kind of the target amount, essentially looking at like a 1% CPA. and, you know, lots of great literature that the team has put together. And that to kind of promote and share information about it. They were at, or which is that we were at the town day, or whatever we call it. That
Fall
got,
Street
that
Fair.
got rained, that got rained out, fall fair. And there's lots of good materials that over the next several months we can kind of share. There will be a presentation at town meeting. Certainly they'll be looking for support so that when it does go before town meeting, that hopefully we get a positive vote. Side note, I have, now that I'm keenly aware of CPA, every time I travel to another town for a game, you know, basketball, soccer, whatever, I am keenly aware of all of the recreation facilities that have been created, funded through the CPA, and that towns have like massively benefited from having the CPA resources. Just baseball fields and community centers and pickleball courts and everything. So everywhere I go, I see these little plaques that are like, you know, made possible by Malden CPA funds, and it's just it's ever present. So feels like Reading really did miss the boat several years ago by voting it down, which we did as a town. I was not even aware that it came before us, but we did. We shot it down, and we've missed out on probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of funds that could have been used for recreation, could have been used for housing, could have been used for preservation and community conservation. And just, it's just a missed opportunity. So there's an opportunity to get back into it. It'll be a tall ask. I know I'm giving you probably more information, but I want to give whoever raises their hand a little bit more flavor to where we are. It'll be a tall ask of the community to ask for additional funds to be pulled from your, you know, essentially an additional tax. It is a very, very small amount. This is not hundreds of dollars added. This is like a few dozen dollars added to your taxes. And so it's a much smaller number coming out of people's taxes, and it goes directly to things to improve the community directly. So.
And Eric, what's the commitment? Why don't you give people, you know, in terms of how many?
Yeah, so there's six members. So Joe Carnahan is chair. There's some great folks there. Sarah Brook, I can never pronounce her last name. And she lives right next to me.
Yeah.
I just say, hey, Sarah. But there's a great group of people that really are there. Martha Moore, Sandy is there. So you know, you meet once a month.
Once a month, okay.
The meetings usually are like an hour and a half or 2 hours, so just trying to get through. We've been trying to get through a lot and try to move things forward. But it's typically happening on Tuesdays. Starts a little bit later, which has usually been my conflict because it's usually something that I've had to do with one of my kids. So it's usually about a 7:30 start. So the ask is that somebody from our committee kind of raise their hand and be willing to be the rec committee rep for the CPA.
Anybody have any questions for Eric in terms of that?
Just as an aside,
Yes.
not getting a member yet, but are there many towns surrounding us participating in CPA?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, so I want to say there's like 180 total communities. I mean, we're at this point, we're in the
More than half.
It's well over half of the Massachusetts
Okay.
communities,
Okay.
and in our neck of the woods, like 495 and in, it's even a much higher percentage.
Hmm.
So,
Thank you.
For towns that are way out west, doesn't make sense
Right.
necessarily for them,
Right,
just
right.
because they don't have the in-town needs,
Mhm.
but for all of the communities around us, a vast majority of them.
201 out of the 351.
Thank you.
Wow.
I had it in my notes.
Yeah, you got it right out there.
Yeah, good one.
We're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm happy to help out, but I have to be upfront that I'm traveling a lot these days, so there's very good chances I can't make every month. But if 1 or 2 other people want to tag team with me, I'm happy to do it. But like I said, I can't do a full commit, so.
Can we do that? Have 2 people and like,
I mean, it's not ideal, but
I,
unless you get someone
Yeah,
who wants
let's-
to do it and.
yeah, so I mean, we can certainly ask Joe. My guess is that if it's something that, when you're available, you can go to. And then if you know that you can't make it, and like, I mean, I would even, raise my hand if I was available to be able
Is it
to.
the same week every
It's
month?
usually, it usually is once the year gets going. The summer
Yeah.
always gets
Yeah.
wonky,
Yeah.
but once the year gets going, it's pretty much the same. But I do think even if the rec committee, so if you weren't able to go,
Mhm.
like I could probably go and sit in the audience and probably just kind of say, be recognized and say, hey, now I'm here in lieu of Kate, and these were the 2 cents from the recreation. Or anybody else can do that. I don't think we can have multiple people
Right.
officially kind of appointed
Yeah.
and on there.
Yep,
Yeah.
understood.
And I'm sure if you could only go every other month, that you could watch after. If you weren't able to make it, you could watch it on RCTV.
Yeah, and you can
You know,
zoom.
to get a
Right.
feel,
And it's
yeah.
it's a Zoom, it's a
But,
Zoom,
yeah.
so, yeah.
Okay.
No pressure.
We're all looking.
Anyone else?
do we need a vote on it or do we?
I think you need to vote.
Okay, do we need a nomination too then, right?
Yep.
Somebody-
I don't think I should
Do
know.
we have to remove you first?
No,
No? Okay.
I think you just, I think the motion can be to replace Eric Gaffin
Yeah, it's a
with,
replacement.
with Kate Cameron.
And you're sure you want to be nominated before we nominate you?
I just want to be absolutely
Yeah,
clear with
yeah.
everyone. There could be a string of, I travel a lot, so there could be a string. If I'm here, I'm happy to serve. I will even try and do Zooms if possible, but just buyer beware.
Fair enough.
I can't be all in. I want everyone to know that.
I'll make a motion. I make a motion to nominate Kate Kamina to replace Eric Gaffin on the CPA committee.
Second.
Any discussion?
Maybe an amendment to say that if you can't, can you cover for me? That, you just said, hey, if I'm in the audience.
So what I would say is,
Jim?
I think that
That would be
you
good.
probably filter it through Jim to say, hey, Kate can't make it to this upcoming. And is anybody able to attend in lieu of Kate, and sit in the audience and just listen and be able to
Right.
report back?
Yeah.
But I would say we probably don't need an amendment
Okay.
if we know kind of.
No, I'm just saying, because you brought it up and I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Should we reach out to the chair prior to even see if that's possible? The chair of the CPA right now?
To see what?
If it'd be all right for someone to fill in and act as a rep of the recreation.
Well, I don't think that we could necessarily replace the rep on the official committee.
Just
I do think you
reporting
can
back.
go,
It's
anybody
public.
from rec at any time
Right.
can go sit in the audience and make comments and, participate as part of the public. I mean, anybody from, we never get anybody.
Right,
yeah.
But
Okay.
And it sounds like the committee has advanced enough. If a meeting is missed, like Jenna said, I can either get the
yeah,
minutes or, right? I mean,
The biggest lifts have been done. The next big thing from the Recreation Committee is actually probably more going back to Jenna and Jim and saying, so, because what they're going to look to do when they make the presentation to the town meeting is say, here's a list of all the things we could have used the money for,
Mhm.
and here's the money we could have saved, and
Mhm.
this, and this, had we done it.
Mhm.
Moving forward, are we gonna get this amount of money? No, but here's what we would project it to be.
Mhm.
So the next kind of like big lift is really thinking about how we're going to put together the right presentation with the right information to advocate for town meeting, and then to move forward into the probably form another committee. Because you're not allowed, the CPA committee will not be allowed to advocate in the same way that
Oh, yeah,
right?
like to vote for it at
yeah.
town meeting.
Right,
Yeah.
so a separate committee would have to be formed for people to go out there and really push it.
To lobby
To lobby the
Yeah.
town, yeah,
I see.
which you don't have to be.
Lobby town meeting.
Yes, yeah.
See those tennis courts?
We all have.
Yeah. All right, so we have
Leads
a,
us into,
you seconded it,
Mhm.
right? All right, let's do, and we did a discussion, let's do a vote.
Can
Yes.
we vote?
yes,
I think we can vote,
We can vote.
yeah.
Can we vote?
It says possible vote, so you're good. You're allowed.
Oh, no, I think she was saying
can
like,
she like vote for herself?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'll vote to replace myself.
Yes.
That's, all right, 7-0, again, well done. Thanks, Eric, for your time on the committee there.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Kate, for stepping up there. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
All right, next, Jimmy, can we give this update?
Project updates, we're almost back on
All
schedule.
right,
4 minutes ahead right now.
all right.
All right, so some of the stuff that's gonna be on our agenda probably from now until probably the spring, updates, recal, pickleball and Birch Meadow Phase 2. Recal and pickleball is kind of a joint thing right now, going through permitting and getting approvals. Conservation, we went to our second meeting about a week and a half ago. We closed that meeting. We're just waiting for the order of conditions to come back from conservation on any project. They always come back with some mitigation stuff they're looking for based on what we've proposed. Some of the things that did come up were some shade structures where the lights are with the pickleball courts. If we do get the lights approved and the bids come back low, getting some small plantings that will help kind of with the light bleed that might go into conservation areas. So that was something that came up, which isn't a big issue. And then the pathway that we have that sits behind the pickleball courts and that kind of connects towards the Recal Center. They did ask that it not be asphalt. So they were looking for some kind of pervious kind of pavement so that the water can kind of go through and it's not going to affect the wetlands over there. So it would be kind of a high grade crushed stone, I think is what they call it, similar to what we see over at Millette and Soames, the conservation project over there as well. So I think those are the major things they're looking for. So I think at the next conservation meeting, those are going to be brought up. Moving on to CPDC, that one's a little bit more interesting. I don't know if anyone's been following CPDC right now. We're kind of at a standstill. We had our second meeting last week, and it kind of got halted because CPDC is looking to see kind of a good faith agreement with the shared parking with the Burbank Ice Arena. So right now, the town manager, assistant town manager, and town council are working on a MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding to present back. So they've been working on that for the last few days, kind of heavy. So we're hoping that prior to the next CPDC meeting, there is some agreement between the town and the Burbank Ice Authority. Next CPDC is scheduled for October 6th, I believe it is. So that's where we are with those two projects. Any questions on those projects before I jump to Birch Meadow Phase 2?
And that's parking down where the pickleball courts are.
Shared parking for whether it's larger events, whether it's when, you know, the hockey has their big state tournament games or the Skating club has their stuff where they would pick up some spots potentially from us, and then we'd also have overflow parking for senior events if we had the daddy-daughter dance there as well too. So
Okay.
just making sure that everyone is covered liability wise.
Yep.
So hopefully we should know more by October 6th.
Mhm.
Good on pickleball and recal right now? All right, Birch Meadow Phase 2. I don't know if anyone's been out there lately. There's a giant post-tension concrete pad that is out here. I was there when the 17 trucks arrived. We did our best to notify all the neighbors. We put out a code red. Emails went out, we put it online, so we spread a whole area just making sure that there would be a high flow of trucks coming in that day. And our luck would have it, the day all the concrete trucks were coming was the first day that the Rise preschool program was opening as well. So a few days prior, when we got confirmation, we had to make sure that they were coming down Bancroft Ave, coming in that area and spinning around, but it worked like a well-oiled machine. They got in there and I think the trucks were out of there by 12:30 that day, and they were out there with some amazing machines leveling this concrete, that remote control. There was this vehicle on there that looked like it was from Star Wars and someone driving it, and it was basically just kind of leveling out the surface, and it came out great. They just finished the tensioning of the post-tension concrete, which is where they have rebar that goes in there. And on whatever schedule they have, they're out there with the machine and they are tightening. That post-tension concrete has to sit for 28 days for it to completely settle. I think we're on day 14 right now, give or take a day. And then they can start putting the coat of the paint on there as well. They got poles up today for the fencing that are starting to go around that. We're hoping those courts will be done maybe in a month or so. And if we are able to get that area completed, the playground is going to be last. We'd probably shift over the fencing where the construction zone is. Right now, I can't make any promises, but if those courts get completed, the construction companies have been doing this for a while. They're like, these courts are done. We have hoops up there, nets up there. They're painted. Kids are going to jump fences and they're going to go out there. So it makes more sense to shrink down the construction zone to where it needs to be. So that's what we're hoping for on that. As far as the schedule that's coming on, there was some, I don't know, they were a little not present because they're waiting on shipments to come in. They moved super quick when they first got there. They cleared that out in like 3 days. So it's just waiting on deliveries. This week, the drainage deliveries and the Caltech systems, which are going to be going in the ground, that will help some of the stormwater. They came in already. The end of the month, we have the Musco lighting and the poles coming in. So they'll be focusing over the next 2 weeks on drainage, electrical, granite curbings coming in as well. So they're going to be moving probably every single day from here on till the ground freezes, I suppose. The biggest delay is the playground equipment. It is scheduled to be in Reading on October 22nd with hopes of installation on the week of November 3rd. The issue with that will be depending on how quick they get it in. If for some reason we got 1 week of nice warm weather, they would put that pour and play surface down and there's potential it could be done. I don't think that's going to happen. So you could see that playground just being shut down until the spring when the weather warms up and they do get that pour and play surface on there. So that would be the only delay. But other than that, it's going very smooth and haven't really got any complaints from the neighbors, which has been nice. So that's great. Any questions on Birch Meadow Phase 2?
I know I went by there. I saw that process happen. It was incredible.
Yeah,
Seeing that
it
happen.
really was. And those
Yeah.
courts are going to be, I was told the warranty was 30 years, but then I was told again by the person installing it that was a 40-year warranty on those courts,
Wow,
which is pretty phenomenal.
that's unbelievable.
So it'll just be upkeep on, just painting. There's going to be no crack filling or any of that stuff. So
Worth it.
it will be very nice.
That's great.
Next, which kind of coincides with Birch Meadow Phase 2, the community tennis courts on Bancroft Ave, Vermont Recreation Servicing surprised us and came 2 days early, which is fine, but it was a little bit of a fire drill this morning because
They showed up.
they showed up today. So they're supposed to show up on Wednesday, but I've been around long enough where last week I closed the court from reservations starting on Monday. And the plans was that DPW could get out there, remove all the poles as well as the nets, get the benches out of there, And then they needed water, so I had to schedule the water department to get down there and do a water hookup from one of the hydrants. So got a call this morning at 7:30. I'm coming in here that they're down here right now. So went down there and DPW was there at 7:30 pulling nets out. They had 2 courts left, and got to give them a kudos for
Nice.
getting out there and getting that done, as well as the water department for getting over there and hooking up that water, because today they were out there. They scraped any weeds or moss that were growing through cracks. They were out there with the blower, out there with the power washer, and they're already starting to fill cracks. And I think this week looks really good weather-wise. So we are very hopeful that they will be completed with this project by week's end. And then it will just be getting DPW to get back in there once everything settles, the paint's good, and get these poles back up there and these nets back up there as well. And then we open them back up to the public, hopefully next week.
So Jim, there's no curing period?
There will be. I want to say it's 48 hours. I could be wrong. So if they finish up by Thursday and we keep those courts locked, they do have chains down there, so they're locking them every night when they leave. So I want to say it's 48 hours. So we'll make sure that if they tell us 48, maybe we give it 72, just to be a little safe.
Forget.
And then we just keep our eyes on those kids who want to go on that smooth service and maybe want to rollerblade or play hockey or ride their scooters. So maybe a few extra patrols in the white mist. Questions on those courts? No?
Okay, your community is all set about that as well. You guys have
Yeah,
communicated.
I have to say Jim has been fabulous in communicating to me. and-
Yeah.
And I just shoot it out to my database.
Great.
Thank you.
So-
And thank you for doing
What
that.
you said today, I
Appreciate
was
it.
like, wait a minute, I
Yeah.
told him Thursday.
Yeah.
I would have been
They'll be happy.
Wednesday. I think I told you
They'll be happy.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're moving, but they were closed
Yeah.
today.
So I appreciate the communication.
Nice.
It's been great to keep me updated.
Thank you. All right, I think that's that for
Are you?
that. And then I'll just continue since I'm yapping away. I'll just
Okay.
go and then Ed can close us out. Just some updates from me. We do have an open vacancy in the Recreation Committee, unfortunately, obviously with the passing of Michael Coltman. So it was posted today on the town website. If any associate member or a new member is interested in becoming a full member, you can find it on the volunteer page that's on the town website that can be found under the town manager's page or the town clerk's page. Or you can simply email me. I have both links that were shared with me today. So if you know of anyone interested, I don't know if we should reach out to our associate members. I'm sure there's some folks that would love to be elevated into a full member that
Yeah.
may have been on the committee for a while. So just letting them know would be good. Two updates with conservation. When I was doing the notes, I was reminded of the footbridge that was discussed back in June, the new footbridge over at Sturgis Park. I followed up with Chuck today. Right now, they're in a little holding period. Right now, they have surveyors out there just delineating what's town land and what's private. So they're waiting to hear back from their surveyors to figure out if they're going to be doing the footbridge or the little walking path. And they had said that they were hoping that it would be a footbridge. I think we all agreed with that during that meeting. So whenever I get any updates, I will follow up with you on that. And at the last meeting with Conservation 2, there was talk about rec donating some money. So I followed up with Chuck today and asked specifically how much money that was. It would be for kiosks and signage. He said it would be around $3,000 for this. What I would recommend is that if they would like to continue to pursue this, we have them come into the Recreation Committee meeting in October, do a presentation and discuss this. And then there's potential vote from the Rec Committee on, yes, we're willing to do it based off what they present, or no, I don't want to be making that decision myself. So I'd recommend, if possible, that become an agenda item for
Okay.
October.
And do you know if they looked at other departments for funding?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know if any other town members have asked any other departments. People like to come to recreation because we do have a revolving fund, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe so, but that is a good question to bring up, but I think they
Yep.
should come here and
Yep, no, that's fair.
present.
Agree.
Yes.
If they didn't have us, how would they fund this?
I'm not sure they would.
Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Do they do any type of grant writing or
I know Andrew does.
donations or?
Yeah, Andrew has submitted quite a few grants for his department. And they've asked for money from the select board and increases in their budget. So maybe there'll be some wiggle room and they can get more money in their budget
I mean,
next
I
year.
was under the impression when he came to present this, I was under the impression that there was federal money or something that they would, let's finish it off type thing.
No, I know the town was looking for potential areas to help support this program, and it was brought to me that recreation, passive recreation might be a good fit to potentially help fund this.
Do we have the final say on it, or does it then have to go to the select board or town meeting?
Your
Agree.
budget.
I would say
I think
my committee,
we don't have a final say on anything. I mean, right?
I think the recommendation of the rec committee should hold some weight.
Yeah.
It should,
It
but
should.
at the end of the day, it's the selectmen's just a
I would
select
say you
board
can
decision.
make recommendations
Correct.
to the select board, but they get to decide.
Correct.
So
Do we
They
know,
listen, they're good listeners.
Yeah, and
do we know if conservation picked rec out of a hat or if it was suggested to them to come looking?
it was suggested.
Do we know by whom?
Assistant town manager had reached out to me directly. I think it was prior to our meeting.
so no prior projects like this have been done in conservation?
Not since I've been here. As far as as far as recreation funding something
But
for
All
conservation.
of a sudden, now they come up with the idea, I know they're doing it at Sturgis near the end of your street,
Mhm.
right? And then there was they're proposing a project at the end of my street. So now all these little projects are coming up. So I don't know, I guess when you start coming up with these ideas, you would think the next step is, okay, how are we gonna fund this as opposed to let's just come up with these ideas and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know if it's a want or if it's a
Is it gonna
need.
become a pattern or?
Remind me, is this the same group that also did the wildflowers at
The pollinators?
Castine?
The pollinator garden. So I think this would be more of the Trails Committee. It's under conservation. So yes, it's the same.
So technically, it's under the same
Yes.
bucket of
Mhm.
conservation, and so that's maybe that's one to look at as.
I thought
Quote,
the
unquote, precedent.
pollinators had funding of some sort.
Well, no, and we didn't.
Those-
They didn't give any money to
We
them.
didn't, we just said, God bless, go ahead.
Right, yeah,
Right, but somebody created a sign and somebody,
Is it the scouts?
I don't know who made the sign and I don't know who had the wooden poles.
That would have been under conservation.
Yeah, so maybe they funded it, they funded those small amounts by themselves.
Yeah.
So.
I think this very well could be a want, not necessarily a need. It's not gonna stop a project from happening. It's just like there won't be signage or small kiosks at the entrances of the locations they want, which I don't know which locations they
What
are,
does a
so.
kiosk look like?
I mean, so he's saying it's up to $3,000, so I think that's why he needs to be here and show us exactly
Yeah, I mean-
what it is. It was very vague to me when I was told this at the time, to be honest with
It's
you.
clear we have questions.
Yeah.
So it's good, it's good that they're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm recommending.
Good job.
Yeah.
I can show up for that.
They come.
Yeah.
I think to Kate's point, this won't be the first, it'll be the first, it won't be the last. More groups will come to us for money if we say yes to this.
Yeah.
That's my main concern, is we're gonna become the ATM for every other group in town. When we have enough stuff we can fund on our own that needs to be funded.
Well, we say no to some of our own things.
We do, yes, 100% we do.
Yeah.
So
No, I think it's a good idea and just, echo what Bob's saying, I think we have some needs, right,
Mhm.
to get done and that should be our priority, right? If we have more money, maybe,
Yeah, so I'll talk with them and try to schedule them at our next meeting once
Yeah.
we set,
okay.
our next date.
Yep.
Is that all I have? Nope. We have a fun new program that we've been working on for a little bit, an adaptive sports day in Andover. We're partnering up with North Reading, Andover, Wakefield, and Arlington Recreation Department. It's gonna be on October 11th. This is for youth, ages 8 to 18 who have visual or mobility impairments. There's gonna be 3 different events going on. One is, beat baseball. I don't know if you've seen it before, where the ball makes the noise and the bases have noises, so those, they run out to the bases and almost looks like a big football, like one of those things they knock over. There's gonna be wheelchair basketball and then adaptive soccer. I reached out to Joe Connolly, who's putting on this event, and I already said, I wanna do this in the spring down in Birch Meadow, next year as well, so we're next in line to host it here. So we've been trying to promote it. I've sent it over to YMCA, sent it out. I sent it over to the school department, and we've sent it out to our database as well too. We're hoping we can get a couple dozen folks out there. So I'll be there myself. So it's October 11th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you guys want to look at.
Where in Andover is
Weekend
that?
day,
Yeah.
It is at the Cormier Youth Center,
Oh, okay,
Columbus Day weekend.
which is, I think, their
That's like-
big facility at
yeah,
Town Hall.
it is, yeah.
This looks great.
Side note on that, do you know if they work with Tops Soccer for for the adaptive soccer?
Who's it say on the bottom of that, Melissa? Can you read who it's through, that soccer program? It says hosted by C,
Am I missing?
right underneath the soccer.
Yeah.
Oh, CP Soccer?
CP Soccer is who does it, but Top Soccer is another group that,
There's a group, Top Soccer. Owen did it for 4 or 5 years, and Josh has now done it. Josh has now done it for 3 years as a volunteer. It's out of North Reading, which is why I thought maybe.
Well, they have a Top Soccer in Wilmington too.
I think Winchester may do it as
Beyond
well.
Tops.
Beyond, well, but they have both, I think.
Oh, is that both?
They have Top Soccer and then Beyond Tops, I actually have other TOPS.
Yeah,
They have other programs, but Top Soccer is kind of like their foundation.
Hmm.
And then Beyond Top, they found that there was such a need that they do year-round activities. So every season, I guess there's something bowling.
Yep.
Tops bowling,
Nice.
which is part of Beyond Top.
just another potential resource.
Yeah.
If
Great.
you guys wanted to reach out to them.
Awesome. Writing it down.
And they're all volunteer. They're,
Yeah.
I believe, volunteer based.
Yep.
The good thing about Beyond Tops is it's free to join. All the
Yeah.
activities for the kids are free.
Yeah, nice.
They're awesome.
We do like a Santa lounge. It's
Why
gonna-
aren't they in Reading?
I know, I got women, they're great.
Right. Ed, you're on it.
Great.
And then I just want to bring up, today I was approached by Bob Beckman. Bob works for RCTV. I think he's on their board. He's looking to do some fundraising efforts for RCTV, and he asked about the potential of doing a potential pickleball fundraiser over at Memorial Park. I mentioned that if we were to do this, I'd love to get RPPA involved. I kind of look at the fundraiser, something similar you've done with your event. Potentially do it. What they would do is they use it for some fundraising to help benefit some of the programs they run. And then they also mentioned that they'd love to give a kickback as well to potentially RPPA if they were to join up with this. So figured I'd throw it out to you guys, mention if you think there may be any issues. Obviously, we're concerned about neighbors and things and noise down there. It would be 12 to 5:30. I think they're looking to do it either October 12th or 19th. From 12 to 5:30, those courts are going to be used anyways. There's going to be people there. So I don't know if it's just keeping restrictions on there, making sure they're not parking in that small lot. There is plenty of parking around there, so I don't think that will be an issue, but I wanted to put it out that we haven't done anything with pickleball yet as a fundraiser to see if you'd have any concerns with this.
So I wouldn't have concerns if it was RP, whatever it's called.
Like sponsorship with them. I don't want to step on their
Do
toes.
we typically allow or rent out public facilities for private fundraisers?
I know that, well, the high school does, yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah, depending how big it is, they'd have to fill out a civic function permit like any other group. We do all the road races that are at Memorial Park as well too, so.
They have to pay more.
I told him, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna have enough time to put this together.
I know it's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
But like Jim said, there's people down there all the time playing. It's just,
Right.
oh, you
There's not
know,
gonna be any more added noise.
Yeah.
I think it might be less traffic, because if it's a tournament, folks would kind of just be hanging around, so it wouldn't be cars coming in, cars going, it'd be a group of, I don't know, 40, 50 people there that are playing in a tournament style.
Are they looking to do it on a Saturday or a Sunday?
The Sunday, October 12th or 19th.
We can notify like the butters at all.
It's after 12, so we don't do anything before 12 o'clock on Sundays.
Yeah.
that the same day as Ben's big music show over at Memorial?
I think let's see that's a good point. I think he might have been October 11th.
Saturday, yeah, that was a Saturday.
He is, this is small writing on here, huh? Sunday, October 12th. And it would be right during that time. So what I would do is I would recommend that they don't do it the 12th, they do it the 19th.
Good catch.
There you go.
Good job, Melissa.
Paying attention.
Every once in a while.
Got that one. All right, I'll follow up with them as well. And I did speak with Judy Coltman about today, who's taking over as the president with RPPA. She's gonna be away for the next month, so she was gonna pass it on to the other board members on RPPA as well to get any input they might have. And then last thing I have, we are planning our next inclusive trip or outing with our young teens. We're finalizing, hopefully tomorrow. I was on the phone with John Puto today. Our next trip where a lot of the students decided they wanted to go to Canopy Lake Park Scream Fest.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about it, but I think there's already like 18 kids that are interested. We're gonna be getting it up on the website probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday. If anyone's interested, they can jump on there, reach out to us directly. The date is October 18th. We're going from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So that should be fun, should be interesting. So I've been there before. It's not too bad. And I think they have some things they sell if you don't want to be scared. You can wear a little, I think something around your neck and the characters will not come up to you.
That says I'm
Yeah.
a scaredy cat.
They don't always abide by
I
that.
know.
And
Me
I'm a victim of it.
Yeah, got you.
I have a question about the funding, the ARPA funding to the YMCA.
Mhm.
I believe that funding was for all ages. Do you know if they've used any of that funding to organize these types of activities for people 18, 22 plus? I actually had a parent reach out to me recently, expressing concern that they have a disabled adult daughter,
Mhm.
child.
Mhm.
And they're looking for more recreation opportunities. So I was just wondering, how, I don't recall hearing that they've planned anything.
Yeah, so we put it on there as 13 plus teens and young adults. I know in the past we've had some young adults, let's say 24, 25 that have come on the trips and have acted as more like chaperones. And I may know who you're talking about as well too. And I know I've reached out a few times asking if they want to be involved in some capacity as well too. And I'll follow up once again
Yeah.
with that. But I don't know if you're looking for more to get more adult programming instead of
Yes.
having an adult with a 13-year-old. So maybe have a
Exactly.
group that's, 21
Right, a
plus.
20-year-old, 30 plus group, like some sort of age bracket there without, I don't know if they'd really want to do Scream Fest, but maybe like apple picking in the
Yeah.
fall or, a day trip somewhere.
Yeah, and then we're probably coming up on the point where John probably is gonna come back in. It's been a little bit since John has been in here. I want to say it's probably been almost a little over 8 months or so
Yeah.
to give the updates. So I can follow up with him for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any updates in the line of, since we're talking about therapeutic activities,
Mhm.
you were going to look into funding like a part-time TPA, maybe a share with another town? Did that kind of go anywhere?
Not yet. I think the last time I had mentioned too is, I know at the motion that was, there was what do you,
At town meeting, I made a motion.
a motion
To have a
with the
funding
schools
mechanism.
as well as us to bring in more adaptive recreation. We briefly met with the superintendent. I think I had mentioned those possibility of job sharing. I know we're trying to get therapeutic rec in our building and get it funded completely through recreation. So as far as job sharing anything, there's been no movement on that. And I mean, I don't know if we pursue job sharing with 2 different towns right now, if we're kind of going down a path where we're trying to secure our very own.
Yeah, and that was presented at town meeting as that position would be in the running, and a very high priority for us, so that will happen once Recal opens, but it'll be a couple of years down the line, and I don't see them adding any people onto our budget right now with like the potential override and all of those things happening, so.
Where did the talk of the Burbank money coming to kind of fund like, the adaptive programming. Did that ever go anywhere?
That's, I think, still kind of in the,
Yep, that's above our pay grade.
with
That's
the-
what, that's what,
I'm not gonna comment on anything
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
Burbank, and funding right now.
yeah.
That's all I have. Any other questions?
Begin the last word to Ed over there.
He always gets the last word.
All right. Wrap it up. Take us home.
Yeah, I haven't been here doing anything since June, which isn't that long, but it feels like a long time. A lot of things have happened since then, but summer went really well. I think our vacation program was really good this year. Our staff down there was great. They're lucky with directors who have plenty of experience and plenty of staff, and I just think overall the summer was pretty good. For the fall. Our fall programs kind of start sporadically through September, early October, so kind of getting into that right now. But our largest program of the fall is the SNL flag football that started on September 6th. Saturday afternoon program, like 550 kids have signed up.
Wow.
Girls and boys grades K to 7, so that's always been a very popular program for us, and it still is. I like to mention, I like our intergenerational stuff that, we did before I got here, but I've had a role in doing it since I've been here. So we did a intergenerational fishing clinic on August 20th at Lake Quinnipiac. So that's a nice little partnership we have with Wakefield Rec, giving us permission to use Lake Quinnipiac. Usually the intergenerational stuff is at the Pleasant Street Center, but I like to be outside, so we did it over there, and
There was a lot of fish that we caught.
It's the weather,
Yeah.
but it turned into a great fishing day,
Yeah.
and plenty of fish were caught, and
Ah.
it was a lot of fun. So we do that in partnership with the guidance of the Mass Wildlife, who is a great partner of ours, and I look forward to continuing working with them. I'm going all over the place a little bit here, but downtown trick or treat date set for October 28th. So looking forward to being able to do that this year. 4 to 5:30, so just working with local businesses and getting vendors, spending some time doing that right now. And then the new program, I kind of want to highlight that I got to come in and start this fall, called Build Wave. Jim and I attended an MRPA program where they presented. They're like a sponsor of MRPA, and they kind of ran us through a quick little, trial of what they offer. It's a STEM program, and it's just waves of different blocks and just creative things. It's kind of like fast paced, very engaging. They have videos and music that go along with it, and I haven't seen anything like it before, and I was impressed, and I thought it was really cool for like a STEM project or program like that to come to town. So I'm introducing them to the community. Hopefully it'll be successful as an intergenerational program where families can go and try it out. And then afterwards, we're doing a full program with them. So hopefully, I'm excited for them. So hopefully, it's always tough to get new programs off the ground. You get worried about them, but hopefully, doing the intergenerational thing, and then they'll catch some popularity and be a successful thing for us.
Is that they're trying to solve a puzzle or something like that? I'm trying
It's
to
like,
visualize
it's
this.
very, you kind of do whatever you want with it. So they pass out like these boxes that you open up, you don't even know really what's in it. So it could be like those, it could be these like building blocks or whatever. And then you can do it individually, teams of 2, teams of 4, or as a whole entire group, and just kind of build and be creative and kind of do what you want, and then you kind of present your ideas or what you think it is as a group. It's pretty, I thought it was cool, and their visuals and the music, it just creates a very engaging, like, I think a really fun program, so it was very different, so I just wanted to give it a shot, and they've been good to work with so far. What else? Just in town Sunday basketball prep has already started. Just trying to get the staff to work, like returning staff, reaching out to them, getting new applicants for Sunday basketball. We'll start interviewing in like October for some new people to come in for that. And then registrations for that's open right now too, so it's another fun program to do. We'll do Neshoba again in the winter, so just all those usual things been working on, but yeah, I mean, now that it's fall, I joke in my head it's now like winter and trying to get ready for that stuff, you know, so. I know it's a little all over the place, but.
Do you still get the
Great.
same numbers for basketball, Sunday basketball?
Oh, yeah. I think the older ages phase out a little bit,
Yeah.
the younger age, like the junior clinic is like very popular. The younger ages are very popular and then it phase out a little bit as they get older, but yeah, it's still good.
Travel's now exclusively sixth grade, sixth, seventh, and eighth through Merrimack Valley now.
6th, 7th, yeah, they start earlier though as well. They
So
start-
no in-town middle school.
There's no in-town.
We have in-town middle school Sunday basketball, yes.
Yeah,
We do not run travel basketball.
Travel. Yes.
And does Neshoba offer adaptive skiing?
Not sure if they do it through Neshoba, like with their instructors, I'm sure they.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I can ask.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sure. Yeah, I don't.
I think they might, I'm not sure. I think they might, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can
Is
definitely.
the Sunset Tiki Bar open during the week?
It's already shut down.
And you're volunteering to ride the bus?
I'm just saying.
You had to go to Screen Fest.
Pass on that.
I'd rather ride the bus than.
I don't know, it is a screen fest on the bus.
I've done the bus
They used-
before.
Or do they have
Yes.
there too?
That's a good question. I'll reach out.
Sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, thanks. Ed.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Nice job. Busy summer.
Yeah, I know. I was like, when I was looking at my like notes from June, I was like, whoa, that's really just
Like how?
coming.
Oh, okay.
Because nobody came, but.
Oh, okay.
Look, you can close out.
All right. So no one came for public comments. We'll close that out, right?
Nobody online.
No one online, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, any other questions? Thank you guys for everything you do, you know, Jenna and team. And we thank you for everything you do as well, and good to have you back.
Memory lane.
Good to have you back.
We'll see you next month.
Yeah.
It's an opening.
Yeah.
You go fin-
Drag you
back. I got roped in. I'm the vice chair. I gotta hang out there. for a
Right.
year.
And then you'll be chair, so.
Yeah, so there, yeah.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll second, you.
Oh,
Well, so you can second it in my notes.
all right. So a vote?
Yes.
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 Yes, 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 yes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.